My case in 7 years was a step-by-step process, and it was a calculated one at that. I was kind of just biding my time and waiting and waiting. Where is it? Like, it's so much waiting in anxiety. Do you understand? Whenever they feel ready, they will make me a citizen. I knew that yes, it's time for me to apply for citizenship. I wasn't going to take no chances. When I tell you that I came ready and prepared, I mean I came ready and prepared.
You have to be your biggest fan.
Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Nikki, aka Ada Canada. If this is the first time that you're coming across my YouTube channel, hi, it's so nice to meet you. I hope that you get to stick around to the end, watch this video, like my videos, check out my other videos, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, hi, welcome back to another video again this week. Okay guys, so this video is based on popular demand. In my last video, I showed you guys my citizenship ceremony, long-awaited citizenship ceremony. I'm almost biting my tongue. I am surprised by the way that video was received. You guys seemed to like it. Thank you so much for all your well wishes and the congratulatory messages. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. I asked in that video that if you guys want a citizenship storyline or timeline, how I got my citizenship or how I moved from study to citizenship, then you guys should comment, and you guys did, so we are here. Honestly, I'm still like basking in the euphoria. Hey God, what is wrong? I'm still basking in the euphoria of this achievement. One thing that I didn't even get to do was I didn't even get to toast to this new achievement. And so that's why I have some wine here. This is actually non-alcoholic wine. This is 0%, like 0%. I've never come across this Cabernet Sauvignon that is 0%, but we have 0% wine. I'm not gonna be taking any alcohol today because I have to work, and you know, I don't want to show up drunk, okay? I'm not about to lose my job. So yeah, I didn't really toast to you know, this achievement, and that's why making this video today, I'm just gonna do something about it. All right, so this is a toast of thank you to everyone, actually, all of you guys who commented, who called, who wished me well, congratulatory messages. You guys are the bomb. If you guys have like wine or tea or whatever drink that you want to use, let's toast together. Cheers. So we're just gonna get started. I didn't actually prepare a script for this video. I'm just gonna wing it as much as possible, try to stick to the main point and try not to digress too much. Okay, guys, the first day that I actually set my foot in Canada was August 30th, 2015. That day was a Sunday. When I got my study permit approved, I landed in Vancouver just based on how my flight was booked. And so I actually got my study permit from Vancouver at the international airport there. That was where I cleared with immigration, and then I had to now take the last flight from Vancouver to Edmonton, which was where my school was. School started on September 1st, 2015. I'm not really going to talk about the events that led up to me getting a study permit and a study visa approved because I've already covered that in previous videos. So if you want to know, if you're new to my channel and you want to know about that, you just have to watch my other videos, okay? But yeah, anyway, I started school and my program at the time was supposed to be for 1 year. It started in September and I was supposed to be done August 2016. Now notice that I said supposed to be. I was not done as at August 2016. I had an extra semester, so I had to stay back in school while my mates were graduating. We're not really going to talk about that. I've kind of shed a little bit of light on the circumstances that led to me staying back an extra semester in a previous video, so I'm not going to really dwell so much on that. If you want to know, watch this video. My study permit and my study visa were supposed to expire in October 2016, but because I knew that I was staying back in school for an extra semester, which was from September to December 2016, I had to apply for a study permit extension, which is very easy. It's super easy. easy. I think I did the application in like 15, 20, 30 minutes. Within a month, it was approved, it was granted, reason being that I was still going to stay back in school. If you are not staying back in school for anything, if you're supposed to graduate at the time that you're supposed to graduate, you don't need to apply for a study permit extension, okay? I had to apply for a study permit extension because I was going to be in school till December 2016. I got my study permit extension, my study visa extension approved for an extra 6 months. The expiry date for my study visa, my study permit was March 2017. I wasn't really so bothered about that. In December 2016, I finally finished all my courses. I cleared everything and I was, good to graduate from my faculty. I applied for a work permit immediately. I didn't really waste time. See, the moment that classes were done, the moment I wrote my last exam, my very last exam for my master's degree, the next day I went to the International Student Center and I applied for a work permit. I put in that work permit just before Christmas. I think it was on the 22nd of December that I actually submitted my work permit application. It took me about 4 days because I needed a clearance letter from my faculty and I also needed a clearance letter from my department, my head of department or the director of my program. But the main goal is I wanted to start it and finish it before Christmas, and that is exactly what happened. I finished the application on the 22nd of December. Fast forward to the 21st of January 2017, I got my work permit application approved and I got my work permit in the mail. Yeah, I was good to start looking for a job. So within that time frame between December 22nd, 2016 to January 2017, I wasn't really working because I didn't really have a work permit. So it took exactly 1 month to process. I started working. I basically just worked throughout the year. November 2017, I applied for the Alberta Provincial Nominee Program. For my PR, I was kind of strategic, especially when it came to work. I didn't just work any kind of job. I wanted a job that would put me under NOC, O, A, or B class for PR, especially for provincial nominee. In order to qualify for the Alberta Provincial Nominee Program at that time, you needed to have gone to school for at least 9 to 12 consecutive months in Alberta. You needed to have lived in Alberta. You needed to also have graduated from school, and you also need to have a job within Alberta at that time. I don't know what the requirements are now. I met all of those requirements, and so let's just fast forward to 2018 because I didn't actually hear anything from the Alberta province about my nomination, right? It just, every time I would check, it would just keep on saying processing. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I waited until June 2018. So that is like 7 months. That's about 7, almost 8 months before I finally got nominated by the province. The reason why I'm talking about provincial nominee was because that was the first thing I did. I didn't do the express entry route yet because I hadn't yet reached 1 year of working for that company that I worked for. But because I met the other requirements for provincial nominee, I started that application first. Nothing actually happened after I submitted my application until June 2018. On the side, while I was kind of hanging around and waiting for the Alberta Provincial Nominee, I was preparing to apply for express entry. What do I mean by preparing? I wrote my IELTS. I didn't write IELTS when I was coming into Canada for my studies, but because it's PR, it is a must. It's mandatory to write IELTS. So I took the IELTS. That's basically the main preparation that I did. And then I was kind of saving money because I needed about $12,000 to $13,000 in my bank account in order to prepare a bank statement for me to apply for express entry. So I was working and saving money, and then I took the IELTS. If you're an OG, if you watch my previous video, which I will put on the screen again, you'll notice in that video I said that I applied for express entry about 3 times in 2018, and that is actually true because I applied the first time, my application was denied. I applied the second time, my application was denied, and when I called the IRCC, one of the agents that answered the phone told me that it's because I hadn't yet clocked 1 year in the company that I was with. Like, I've had more than 1 year of experience in Canada at that time, but I hadn't yet stayed 1 year with that company that I was with at the time, and that's why my application kept getting denied. The agent told me that I have to wait until it's exactly 12 months of me being in that company and then apply to get into the express entry pool. By August, I applied again for the third time for the express entry. Meanwhile, I still had my provisional nomination on hand. Alberta provisional nomination is very slow. The process is very, very slow. Express entry is a lot faster, or was a lot faster. And note that all of these things were happening before COVID, right? So when things were like normal, going the normal way, the Alberta provincial nominee program is extremely slow. It takes a long time, but the express entry was faster. I started both applications. At some point, I was going to have to drop one application. In August 2018, I put in my application for express entry. My point score was 473. The first draw that happened in August, it was on August 8th. For that first draw that happened in the month of August 2018, the cutoff was, I think, 460. So I crossed over, and that was how I got invited under the Canadian experience class. I didn't apply under the federal skilled worker program because I didn't have any work experience from Nigeria. That's the only thing that limited me or prevented me from being qualified under the federal skilled worker program. I qualified under Canadian experience class. Processing time, just like I've said before, was a lot faster for express entry. In November 2018, I got approved for my permanent residency under the express entry. Now notice that I haven't said anything about Alberta provincial nominee because I hadn't heard anything from them. That's why I'm just like, okay, because the express entry route has clicked for me faster than the provincial nominee route, I'm just going to continue with the express entry route. Please note that I paid twice. This thing costs a lot of money and I paid twice. Okay, so I paid for the express entry and then I also paid for the Alberta provincial nomination. So that's like double the amount that I should have paid. However, when I saw that the express entry worked for me, I canceled my application, officially canceled my application with Alberta provincial nominee. I had to do my landing. I traveled for Christmas and came back in January 2019. That's when I officially did my landing. Sometime in, I think, 2018 or is it 2017, Canada changed one of their rules for citizenship. In order for you to be a citizen, you need to have stayed in Canada for a certain period of time, 1,095 days. But right now, they kind of changed some things up and it favored me. I'm just going to digress a bit. But if you come into Canada as a permanent resident, so you've never been to Canada before, you got express entry from outside of your country and then you come into Canada, do your landing, you're supposed to stay in Canada for up to 3 years without leaving the country before you can apply for citizenship. And even if you leave the country within that 3-year period, when it's time for you to apply for citizenship, you have to make up for the time that you spent outside of Canada by staying in Canada some extra amount of time. So it's 3 years. However, for people who came in as students, this new rule kind of changed. Technically, I'm supposed to spend 3 years from when I did my landing. I'm supposed to stay up to 3 years before I can qualify. With this new rule, I need to stay 2 years. The government decided to take into account those people who have come in through school. If you came through a student visa or a study permit, they will count the time that you spent as a student before you became a PR for up to 1 year. And then all you have to do is now stay for 2 years after you became a PR. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. Even if you spent, let's say, 4 years in school in Canada and you graduate and you get a work permit and decide to apply for your citizenship, they are going to take into consideration the time that you spent in school before you became a PR. The amount of time that you spent before becoming a PR will count up to 1 year of you being physically present in Canada, so that when you get your PR, all you have to do is stay for a minimum of 2 years before you can apply for Canadian citizenship. This rule favors me. Everything in total is still supposed to be 1,095 days. And because I came in as a student, I had the advantage of 1 year being slashed and transferred to the time that I was a student. In 2019, when I did my landing, all I had to do was stay for 2 years in Canada. I had plans to travel and I knew that if I traveled, when it's time for me to apply for citizenship, I have to stay back and make up for the time that I spent outside. And I was fine with doing that. But for some weird reason or the other, I ended up not traveling, and then COVID started at the ending of 2019 and 2020. So I just never left Canada. So let's just fast forward, because nothing really happened. Life was just going on, and I was kind of just biding my time and waiting and waiting. In January 2021, I knew that yes, it's time for me to apply for citizenship, because I'd stayed exactly 2 years in Canada. I was physically present within Canada. So I knew I had stayed 1,095 days within Canada. That extra year is going to come from the time I spent as a student. I did the citizenship calculator thing. It told me that I would be ready to submit my application on January 11th. January 13th, 2019 was when I did my landing. The computer or the calculator told me that I can submit my application on January 11th, 2021. That is exactly what happened. When I tell you that I came ready and prepared, I mean I came ready and prepared. I wasn't going to take no chances. I submitted my application for citizenship on the exact day that the calculator said I should submit. I didn't hear anything from the IRCC again, because normally before COVID, citizenship processing takes about 6 months or less. I was hoping and praying that, by June 2021 or July 2021, I'll get my citizenship. But, COVID and, just threw everything helter-skelter, and that was not the case. There's like a backlog of applications, there's delays, and COVID just kind of messed the status quo up, and now it takes longer for your application to be processed. It takes longer for your application to be approved. I didn't really get any acknowledgement email until March 2021. I mailed my application. I didn't apply online. I physically mailed my application to the citizenship office in Nova Scotia. Yeah, it was in Nova Scotia. The tracking number on my application told me that it's delivered, but I just didn't hear anything from the office. I didn't hear anything from IRCC. I was like, okay, I hope this is not lost in transit. I hope they didn't just toss it somewhere. And I got extra information on how I was going to be able to log in and check the status of my application online. And so when I logged in, there are like about six different requirements. There's like physical presence, there is English proficiency, there is prohibitions, criteria that need to be checked off by the IRCC before you can actually do the citizenship ceremony, and nothing was checked off. The only thing was acknowledgement of receipt of my application. That's all. Sometime in May 2021, they updated my background verification. So just kind of verifying my background, verifying all the information I put, verifying that I actually worked where I said I worked, verifying that I went to school where I said I went to school, verifying my address, that it's, it's a real address and not just some fake place. That was the very first thing that was checked off. I didn't hear anything again from IRCC, and this is one thing that I find it frustrating with IRCC. It's the fact that you're at their mercy, right? So when you send an application, you do not hear anything from them. They will be the ones to contact you. If there's something wrong with the application, they'll contact you. If your application is okay and it's good and it's approved, they'll contact you. But you don't get to hear anything. All you do is just wait and wait and wait, and you keep wondering, is somebody looking at my application? Like, is it even on file? Where is it? Like, it's so much waiting in anxiety. Do you understand? I'd never heard anything from IRCC throughout 2021. Since May 2021. Towards the end of 2021, I was like, oh man, I don't think the citizenship is going to come again in 2021. I was really anticipating that it would come in 2021. Like, I was looking forward to it. But then when it was now like December 2021, I'm like, okay, like this thing is not coming. I'm just like, do you know what? I'm not going to disturb myself about these people again. I'm just going to wait. Whenever they feel ready to make me a citizen, they will make me a citizen. But I wasn't really worried about my application, because I know that my application is true, my application is complete. I made sure everything was like right and a-okay, right? So I wasn't really bothered about maybe something's wrong with my application. No, I was not. I'm just like, just make me a citizen already. I have been law abiding. I kind of just resigned myself. I'm like, do you know what? Whenever you guys feel like you're ready to make me a citizen, just come and do the ceremony and just make me a citizen. In January 2022, I got the email telling me that I need to take my citizenship test, and if I need to study, there's like a citizenship study guide, which is like 400 and something pages that tells you about the history of Canada. It tells you about the culture. It tells you about the wars, the dates, like prominent people of Canada, the provinces, the geography. It's all about Canada in general, and they gave me exactly 3 weeks to take that test, 21 days. The day that I got that email, I remember it was on a Monday. I took the test on a Wednesday. It was in the middle of the night. I studied for my citizenship test in basically just 4 hours. Went through that book in basically 4 hours. There's the audio version of that book. I don't know how I did it, to be honest. I had to do some memorization because there's history there. I also did practice questions online. There are like free resources online, like you can just type it out on Google. So what happened was I started studying sometime around 10 p.m. I didn't finish that citizenship study guide until 2 a.m. on the Wednesday morning. For like the next hour and a half, I was just doing practice questions online. When I got tired of doing practice questions, I decided to just take the exam. I took it online. The citizenship test is proctored. You will have your camera on. Your webcam needs to be on because, man, they are recording you in real time while you are taking the test. I think the test was for, I don't know, 30 minutes, or is it an hour? I can't remember how long the test was actually for. The citizenship test has 20 questions. You have to pass in order to move forward. In order to pass and move forward with your application, you have to score a minimum of 15 over 20. I did mine in like 25 minutes. I was just done. I scored 16 over 20. The thing that I know that messed me up was dates, because come on, I crammed. Yeah, this is history we're talking about. There were times when I kind of mixed up my dates. Like I was exhausted. I was having headache. I even made a very short clip of when I passed my citizenship test. Guess who's becoming a Canadian citizen? Guess who? Like, guess who? Hey, I just passed my citizenship test. I just passed my citizenship test. I just passed my citizenship test. Hey, 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 hey. Oh my God. I don't know what I was thinking when I made that video, but yeah, I was quite happy that I passed the test. The most important thing is that I got 16 over 20, and as far as I was concerned, I had passed that test. They told me after I took the test that they are going to verify the results. So basically, they are going to play the recording. They were recording me as I was taking the test. So I cannot just turn like this. I cannot just turn like if your eye should mistakenly just turn like this, say you want to look at something, it's already a red flag. So your eyes need to be fixed on the screen when you're taking that citizenship test. I just automatically knew that, you know, they are going to watch me, watch the tape that recorded me when I was taking the test. If my verification is successful, it means that I didn't cheat. In February 2021, they updated my citizenship test status as completed. The only other things that weren't checked off from that application timeline, the English language, the prohibitions. There's one more thing. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name. I didn't hear anything again until in May 2022. They finally updated those other extra things like the prohibitions. Prohibitions just means that you haven't committed any crime, you haven't gone to jail, you haven't had any issue with the police, you haven't been associated with a terrorist organization, or you haven't been doing child trafficking or sex trafficking or any of those heinous crimes. You haven't been bringing or smuggling drugs into Canada. You know, any of those heinous crimes that Canada frowns against, right? There are any of those things that you've done or you've been associated with, then it kind of just puts a question mark on your application. Your application might not get approved. You might not become a citizen, you know, that sort of stuff. May 31st, every other thing that wasn't checked off as a requirement before doing the citizenship ceremony was checked off as of May 31st. I was like, okay, we're really progressing. This citizenship is going to happen this year. I'm here for it. I'm living for it. Sometime in June, in the beginning of June, I just randomly logged into my account because I wanted to see where I was. I wanted to see what's up with the status. And that was when I saw that my citizenship ceremony date was fixed. Imagine my surprise. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What is going on? What? Are you serious? I was like so happy. Oh my God, finally, this ceremony is going to happen. I'm going to be a citizen. 2022 is the year. I'm here for it. Thank God. It was 2 days after that they finally sent me the mail regarding instructions about my citizenship ceremony. They sent me some forms. On the day that you get sworn in, you have to sign the form, the oath of citizenship form. Requirements that I need, my confirmation of permanent residence, my ID, my PR card, everything that I needed for that ceremony was sent 2 days after I had seen the date on my application. Well, finally, this is about to happen. After the citizenship ceremony, they will send a certificate of citizenship. With that certificate of citizenship, you will take it to the passport office to apply for a Canadian passport. Yeah, that's basically it for my citizenship timeline. One word that I'll use to describe my experience from 2015 to 2022 is patience. It's such a long process. This whole 7-year journey has been filled with a lot of waiting. You don't really have any control of things, right? You don't have any control of situation. They don't contact you at all unless they need something from you or unless they want to inform you of something. You never hear from them. And so you're always like, wait, did my application even go through? Did they receive it? Like, what's going on? I just learned to resign myself to the process and just go with the flow, just let things happen when they are supposed to happen, and just believe that as long as I'm doing the right thing, as long as I'm doing things when I'm supposed to be doing it, then it's definitely going to come through. One common email that I get almost all the time is people will send me an email or they'll send me a DM on Instagram and they'll be like, I would like to come to study in Canada and then get my PR immediately after. How can I do that? And I'm like, hold on, you're doing too much. This is too many things that you're asking at once, okay? Let's take it one step at a time. The first thing that you need to do is come study in Canada. So get admission to a school and then get a visa to come into Canada. With Canada, it's a step-by-step process. You can't jump steps. You can't cheat your way through the system. You won't be successful. It's a step-by-step process. You can't expect to just move from being a student straight into being a permanent resident. It doesn't work that way. You need to be a student. You need to complete your studies. Then you need to work, okay? You need to get that work permit and you need to actually work, physically work, before you now apply for a permanent residency. When you try to do too much, that's when you become so overwhelmed and you give up even before you start the process. The reason I'm telling you this is just to let you know that you need to be patient and you need to take it one step at a time. My case in 7 years was a step-by-step process and it was a calculated one at that. Because I was always calculating, trying to stay ahead of the game, trying to keep abreast of things. If anything is changing about immigration, I need to know about it. I need to really find out why. Does it apply to me? Does it not apply to me? Make sure you're always staying updated. Make sure you're always staying abreast of things. Don't just be there and just relax and sit down comfortably, because if you do that, then you might miss out on something that might have been beneficial to you, or you might just miss out on the time that you're supposed to apply for a work permit and you'll be forced to go back to your home country. So yeah, guys, this is my citizenship story time. That is my 7-year journey. If you have more questions, you can leave them in the comments section. I'll get right into it. Please like this video. Continue to support your girl. Thank you so much for, all the love and all the support. Thank you for liking my videos, watching, subscribing. If you haven't yet and you're still watching at this point, subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you do not miss another video when it drops, okay? So with that, I will be seeing you guys in my next video. Cheers. Staying